leading the fastest growing fashion jewelry brand in India.
Vase means ribbons in French, and it is for us. It's a gift. It's a ribbon that ties the gift of life together.
She is one of the most important women in fashion jewelry business.
I think I realized it at a very young age that to be successful, I'll have to work.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Chinu Kala for excellence in fashion jewelry and business.
Hello and welcome. My name is Vineet Malhotra. We're going to have a very special conversation with a very special someone. Chinu Kala, founder of Ruban's Accessories, is joining us on this exclusive telecast. Chinu, thank you so much for speaking with us. Well, first up, I want our viewers and of course myself to know, the origin of your brand. How did it come about? We'll get into other things and other stories that got you where you are today in just a bit. First up, I want you to define what is Ruban's Accessories.
Rubans means ribbons in French, and it is for us. It's a gift. It's a ribbon that ties the gift of life together.
Okay. Well, of all the interviews I have read of you, Gino, there's been a lot of struggle in your initial days. You just were not handed, this platter of success. You worked very hard for it, and it's inspiring. How far you have come. I want you to tell us, how did it happen? What was the break that made you, in fact, come this far in life? Because it's going to be absolutely enthralling for all the girls and women entrepreneurs who are listening and watching this interview.
So my journey started long back. I was just 15-year-old and I had a tiff with my parents, my father, and it now I feel that it was maybe a regulative that every teenager has with their parents, but maybe I was too adamant and stubborn. So my father just told me that you need to leave the house if you don't listen to me. And I was like, well, it was much bigger than a normal fight. So I said, okay, I will leave the house and I'll go. And I was very strong-headed child. So I had just 300 rupees in my pocket. I had 2 pairs of shalwar kameez. I took that and I left home. Well, I stood below the building for about 2-3 hours, and it started getting darker. It was a little scary. And I had some memory of Bombay Central Station, where I had seen people sitting with their bags. Maybe I went there with my parents sometime, and I had that memory. So I thought, oh, maybe that is the place where people can stay. I was too naive and too innocent to not know that that's not the place to stay. It's actually a railway station. But then I just went there and I stayed there for 2 nights. And well, the first night was scary. It was extremely scary because I just didn't know where to go and what to do. And so night when I was hungry, I took a vada pav for about 3 rupees, and then I realized that I was left with 297 rupees. And I was like, how many days will this last? How many days will I eat vada pav? And how many days can I stay here on a platform? So I started analyzing all of that, and yes, it got scarier with the night passed by, and I cried the whole night, and I just sat there. But I was strong. I didn't want to go back home. That was for sure. So this is how it went. And I stayed there for 2 days. After 2 days, one morning, one of the ladies, she walked up to me and she was like, what's wrong with you, child? Why are you crying the way you're crying? And, can I help you? And I was like, so I told her the story. And then she told me, okay, but you need to go back home like any other adult would do. I said, no, I'm not going back. And so then I requested her that I want to. One thing I realized at that age is I'll have to work to make money. I'll have to work hard. So I don't know where did that realization come from, but I told this lady that, can you get me some work? And she's like, what kind of work can you do? Because I was a 15-year-old and with no money in pocket, no house, and with no education, I had nothing to even get a job. So somehow I think I convinced her, and she told me about door-to-door sales girl. Wow. She said this is one place where people get paid on daily basis, on the commission, on the sales that they do. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go and do this job. Somehow I managed to reach that office, and they appointed me.
Hmm.
And well, I thought I sorted because I thought everyone needs things like floor cleaner, knives. It's a household item which I have to go and sell. And I thought, oh, this is going to be very easy. So I went there and I took that heavy bag, and I used to sell floor cleaners. The day I went in, not the first door. I rang the doorbell. That woman opened the door. Before I could even say anything, she just looked at me. She saw that bag, and maybe they were used to that kind of people walking in like that. She just slammed the door on my face.
Oh man. Hmm.
So I think though that thing made me strong,
Hmm.
much tougher, and well, this is the starting of my career. A door slammed on my face.
Hmm.
That's how I started.
But there are other odd jobs also that you went on to do, right? There were other struggles that were still waiting for you, and the best part about all of that was, that you did not give up. Tell us more about the further struggles that you had to endure to get to where you are today.
Yes, so coming to that day when the door was slammed, I was broken. I was shocked because I did not expect that. And then but I think hunger to survive is a very big motivator. So I was like, if I don't sell, I don't get food. So because I was working at that time for my meal, for my for the basic needs. So I got up again and I went and I rang the next doorbell. Decided that I wiped off my tears and I decided that okay, this time I'll do a sale. But yes, the struggle just started from there and just went on because on a door-to-door sales job, your success rate is 2%. We go in a week, we used to ring the doorbell of more than 100 houses, and at the end of the day, I used to sell 1 or 2 pieces. So I used to get like 20 or maybe 40 rupees at the end of the day after going and ringing the doorbell of 100 houses and taking 98 as a door slam. So these are the things. And then I was working as a waitress. I have worked as a receptionist. I've done different odd jobs because I think I realized it at a very young age that to be successful, I'll have to work.
20 to 40.
And I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, 20 to 40 rupees a day. Before I move on to my next question, what is the turnover of your company today?
Okay.
Our viewers would love to know.
Approximately 40 crores.
All right. Well, that does mean that dreams do come true. All you have to be is just be like Chinu, work hard, never give up. But the next obvious question would be, you landed where you are today. Obviously, you had love for jewelry, but how did you get your lucky break? What made you decide, okay, this is the industry that I'm going to focus on? When did you realize that you were good at it?
But I always loved fashion. I loved, so I lived in Bombay. I grew up, all my struggle days I were in Bombay. So I used to see people, they were so smartly dressed, they were all good looking. And I used to be like, oh my God, where do these people come from? Which planet do they belong to? And after that, fast forward a few years, I struggled and then I got married. And then I was a part of Gladrax Mrs. India.
Oh.
So while I was a part of Gladrax Mrs. India, I saw that how, there used to be this whole attire, like beautiful outfits and the amazing makeup and all of that. And finally, there used to be a stylist who used to come and give us our jewelry. And that jewelry would complete the entire look. So this thought stayed with me, I started liking the whole thing about jewelry, how it completed the look, how there was different jewelry for different style. Like if someone is wearing a cotton kurta, she would prefer a jhumka with it. So I started liking that whole thing, and this thought stayed with me. again, fast forward a little more time, friends around me, people around me always started saying that, jewelry nahi milti India mein. When I go to Bombay, I buy. When I go to Delhi, I buy something. So people had their favorite streets for street shopping of jewelry. People had stores in different cities where they would go and buy jewelry. So I started thinking that why is there no brand, no single brand who's catering to this entire need of jewelry? Well, this thought just stayed with me. But then my first venture was not this. My first venture, I was into corporate merchandising. And in that, I used to deal with all the top corporates of the country. So to, like Setmax, Sony, AXN, Sam Miller, all Airtel, all the big brands. And I used to deal with marketing here, the brand managers directly, understanding the brand and understanding what kind of merchandise would they need. Now, this is where I learned branding. This is where I saw the whole, the power of the brand. So when obviously Airtel is still a very, very powerful brand. So when I used to talk to their brand managers who were also my friend then, it was a different thought, the way they, how so much pride they had about the brand. So I was like, okay, this is something interesting. So I can work around this. And I had my love for jewelry.
Yeah, well, that's the mantra that definitely people who are watching this interview need to imbibe in their outlook as well. But, what is your message for women entrepreneurs in this country?
So my suggestion my advice would be put your work on a very high pedestal. Tell your family, tell your people, tell people around you that it's equally important. I hear from a lot of women entrepreneurs, everything else is important, and because I have extra time, I am doing this. No, I mean, when if you start with that attitude, that won't take you a long way.
Chinu Kala, really appreciate you taking out the time and speaking with us. Wishing you and your brand, Ruban's Accessories, all the very best. May the next time we speak, the turnover that you mentioned today is double, triple of that. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.